I spent $100 to hire 3 coaches on Metafy and sent them all the same VOD. But one was $5, one was $15, and the third is a current pro IGL for $75. I sent each of them the same briefing and intentionally kept it short to give them the most freedom to give me their perspective on what I can improve. I'm really excited to see what feedback they each left. Some quick background though, if you're not familiar with Metafy, it's a site where you can choose a game and select from a list of freelance coaches to get feedback on your gameplay. I initially found out about the site through pro players tweeting that they offer coaching during the off-season. For the first coach, for example, I went to the Valorant section and then sorted by $0 to $20. He had some nice artwork that I'm going to blur for his privacy, but most importantly, I liked that in his description he says, "The reason why I'm actually the right coach for you is because contrary to most pro players, I'm not that talented. Everywhere I got was by amassing huge amounts of knowledge and outsmarting most players. And if I know anything about myself, it's that I'm not talented at Valorant." After waiting just one day, he left 25 comments with a few major points that he noticed throughout the demo and some random mistakes as well. The first major mistake he noticed, and commented on multiple times, was my drone usage. And in all of these cases, he has a valid point. A great example is in this clip, I recon deep dish, then for some reason stepped back here and droned from here. Instead, I easily could have run up to this corner and then droned. The major advantage from this closer drone is that it would clear these 2 corners that weren't cleared in the VOD. He also noticed the same problem at A main and dish as well, both great criticisms. Similarly, he left some comments about a few times we fumbled positioning for trading. In this round, you can see our general idea was for my Raze and I to hold A main with this brim smoke. However, my Raze calls stunned.
Stunned.
Yep. Through. 2 more.
And I still swing. To be honest, it's lucky I got 1 here, and my Raze would not have been able to trade me if I didn't. He left pretty amazing comments about my micro, but where I think the review was a bit short was with my team's macro. After all, I asked for critiques on my IGL, and I was aware my micro wasn't that great.
Just stun, and then insta-flash. Oh, I didn't buy, I'm trolling.
Anyways, you can pause to read if you want, but basically he doesn't like our EG Sova comp because it's non-traditional. Essentially, he thinks we're too newbie to use it correctly. And I don't like this idea that some agents or comps are high elo only. I often get comments on my videos with the same complaint about Astra, but in my opinion, it's better to learn what's at the top of the meta at the moment. I mean, if you always have that idea that I'm not good enough to try that, you'll never learn, right? Secondly, I think we actually do show in the VOD that we have a decent idea of how to leverage the 2 initiators and get some value from the Sova. But if a $5 coach is pretty good, what could a $15 session get you? Interestingly, the first coach I hired at this tier actually didn't respond within the 2-day window, so I got to test their refunds. I was able to quickly get the full price back, in site credit though, and hire another coach. For only $14, including tip and fees, you can have someone with solid competitive experience in Tier 2, and for the additional cost, he left almost twice as many comments on the same VOD. And let me tell you, these comments weren't just fillers. He hit the mark on lots of the same micro mistakes I was making, which I'll skip, and in addition, one thing I really liked was that he didn't discourage the Sova. Instead of just finding mistakes in my util, he left comments with ideas for new darts that he didn't see me use in the VOD, and for how I can use my existing lineups to gather info in other rounds when we're not doing our set strats. But what I think really shows in these comments that separates him from the previous coach is his comments on our team play. This round is a great example. We see some pressure on both sides early, causing a bit of confusion with the rotates, but after we get that settled and I come back to A, I call.
I can hold your drop if you like go CT or site.
But the comment the coach left was that I should use a command call in a situation like this. While this may seem like the same thing that I said, it has a huge effect on the round. The way I was calling in this situation forces the Raze to make a decision. Should she go site, CT, or just hold where she is? In reality, there's really no decision to make. Staying here like she does is troll because they make contact with her before I can see them, and I can't easily pivot to hold main from this position. Another thing I really appreciated was how he made competitive Valorant approachable. He recommended things pro players do to optimize their scrims. And finally, I paid $70, well actually $84 after tips and fees for XC9, version 1, and current Shopify Rebellion IGL Vanity. He has tons of experience IGLing at the highest level, including an insane run at Masters Reykjavik that ended in true NA fashion with a loss to Fnatic. Unlike the other sessions I booked, however, where the coach would have 2 days to leave comments on my VOD, for that premium price, I got to have a live one-on-one session that I recorded to share with you. One thing I noticed right off the bat was that the live session gives you more answers. For example, both Vanity and the $5 coach noted my mistake with my drones. However, listen to the exchange I had with Vanity.
Here, it's like, you're already clearing space that you know is open, and I'm pretty sure you can't even clear the close left. Or you barely clear it.
Yeah, I don't think
I think
it
it's the
makes
drone.
it.
Yeah. See, versus like if you run up and drone, like you fully clear like the entire bottom part of the map. And this is already safe because your dart is pinging, so it's like there's no reason not to take it the space.
Compared to the comments, you get a much better sense of value of the deep drone. But getting past the surface level, Vanity was a great resource for me to understand my job as an IGL that neither of the other coaches had given. He set clear expectations from an IGL pre-round.
I would say try to, so at the beginning of every round, look at your ults, look at their ults, look at their money. Those are like the 4 things that you need to look at, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your ults can determine what you want to do in the round, and then you look at their ults to see what they're going to try to do in the round, right? So
Yeah.
like Neon Breach ult, for example, I don't know if they're going to do it here. Maybe they never do. But like the most common play with Neon Breach ult is the Neon stun down B stairs, and then that bounces like twice like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then the Breach insta stuns him in for himself. And then he runs down and Breach ults this. And you lose the round if you're here.
Yeah.
So it's like, try to think, what is their best win condition? How can we account for that?
Then he was amazing at answering my questions about what I should be calling for my teammates as a strap breaks down.
Let's get ball. They have Brim ult. Make sure to tap.
It's a good call. It's something you have to take the thinking out of the game for them. Everyone is dumb. You need to realize it. I tell everyone this. Everyone is stupid in this game. We're all dumb, me included. So you need to make it them think as little as possible.
So I should come a lot more, not less.
Yes. Try to help them as much as you can because it makes people play better. Like, don't like super control them, but like within reason. Like, it's trying to make the game as easy as possible and them just...
And this leads to a funny round where Vanity actually contradicts the other coaches. And this is what I think separates his feedback. The less experienced coach just said that this is a bad plant spot, which lost us the round. And the $15 coach understood the idea and recommended planting here, which would be better for CT. And this would normally be true, but in this situation, in the early round, our bottom side players were getting crunched, which led to my read that the site was clear and for us to move quickly. We know that they're crunching bot side, and we're calling...
Waiting for you, CT. Let's take CT.
So instead of planting for them in A main, I wanted to plant for CT and called for us to push CT. And this is what Vanity thought of that.
I think the issue is we just didn't end up doing it, I guess.
Yeah, that's the fun part about gelling, right? Welcome. This is like the issue, right? It's like you tell them what to do, and then the plant is for that. And then they don't do it. And then, yeah, the round is just lost.
Valorant is an extremely situational game, and while it looks like a troll plant lost us this round, it's really just that the team didn't follow through on the plan. Where I really think it's worth dishing out the extra cash for Vanity or one of the other many tier 1 pros or analysts on the site is if you play on a team and can bring a VOD of a scrim like I did. Most of my individual mistakes that I would make in ranked, Vanity caught, but they were also caught by the less experienced coaches. But one point that stuck with me here, which I think is the value in getting a highly experienced coach, was this point about the economy.
Like when you're looking at the orbs,
Mm-hmm.
you should look at not only your own orbs, but like, so their cage is 5 of 8. So you should try to get one of the ults that breaks his, or like try to get an ult that you can make a plan around. So say their Brim is 3 of 7 here, so you should prioritize your Killjoy ult, because Killjoy ult on attack, if they don't have Brim ult, is like god tier.
Yeah.
Unless you have Sova, because you guys have Sova, so it's different. but because they don't have Brimald here, and they have this comp, they have nothing to break it. So that means the next round, like when you have Killjoy ult, they have to fight you instantly, or they pretty much just play full retake B.
We all know that playing for ults is important, but something I had never really considered was that you don't necessarily need to funnel an ult that you're close to getting. You can funnel certain counters, details like this that will almost never be useful in ranked. They can elevate a team. So, in the end, would I recommend buying coaching? Well, compared to other coaching solutions that I've explored before, having direct one-on-one feedback is clearly better. All 3 of the coaches I hired left me with actionable feedback that I implemented to improve, along with suggestions for new ideas that my team could test. But which coach should you buy? Well, I think it depends on who you are. If you're Diamond or lower, or even Ascendant to Immortal but only playing Ranked, I think the entry-level coaches will help you improve, no question. Ideally, you find one that plays the same role as you, but really, for Ranked, it's more about calling out bad positioning or wasted utility. Although even with the entry-level coaches, I'd recommend paying a little bit more for a live session over just the comments. A live session will give you some back and forth if you're having trouble with some of the comments. And if you watched until now, it would help me out greatly if you left a -100 in the comments, and if you want to see an ineffective coaching solution, check out this video next.